Welcome to a World of Tanks replay. My name is Maxwell. Today's replay is from the user PLJUVACH, and he's driving the IS-3 on an assault battle on the Siegfried line. I think we're just going to call him PL from now on. IS-3, a very, very strong tier 8 heavy tank for the Russians. Got a great set of armor, especially on the turret. It's got a pike nose at the front, which means that angling this thing is a little bit more complicated. You don't angle it like you would a normal tank, which is sort of at a not quite 45-degree angle because of that pike nose. You kind of keep the tank square onto your opponent, because let's say if you angle it like that, then you're presenting them with a flat front plate for them to fire at, and it makes it much, much easier for them to penetrate. Although you do have the weak spot of that quite large lower plate. The pike nose of this thing does tend to bounce shots that it doesn't really have any right to bounce sometimes. And the turret of this thing is incredibly powerful, so if you're able to get into a good hold down position, this thing can turn aside a hell of a lot of damage. So this being an assault battle, there's only 10 minutes on the clock, which means you really have to get in there and do some work. As you can see, PL comes up against a Jagdpanther 2. He's going to play this one a little bit cagey, a little bit careful to begin with, just because the Jagdpanther 2 does have a fantastic gun on it. Doesn't have very good armor compared to the Ferdinand, but then again, the Ferdinand's armor isn't fantastic, anything to write home about either. As you can see, seeing that the Jagdpanther was just closing in, PL's decided that because of the very good gun of the Jagdpanther, he's going to come in for a turret hug, which means that the Jagdpanther is going to be much less likely to damage him, but because his gun's so powerful, he can just scythe right through the front armor there. As you saw, takes out the Jagdpanther in just 3 shots. The Jagdpanther not doing any damage whatsoever back. And now that he's in the city, the enemy team hasn't pushed enough guys into the center, so that PL was able just to take that Tiger 2 by surprise. And by the time the Tiger 2 reacts and pulls back, his gun's almost reloaded. And if you're driving a tank like the IS-3, you can just use it as a wedge to drive between the enemy if they decide to neglect one flank or the other. You can just use this thing as a brute force implement, as you can see, turning damage aside from the Tiger 2 there. He's got a couple of targets to shoot at. Apologies for the reticule bug. I have no idea why some of the replays are bugged and some of them aren't. But we're not going to know exactly how accurate this gun is just at the moment because of the bug, so sorry about that. Now, you will have noticed, taking his time with that shot just to make sure he hits the underbelly of the Tiger 2, you will have noticed that he is still taking up a side-scraping position. Like, it's a little bit more risky with that pike nose, because if you expose any of your front there, then the enemy tank's got a great opening to fire at you. But all Russian tanks seem to have very, very good side armor, so side-scraping with this thing is a really, really good tactic and a great way of turning aside lots and lots of damage. As you see, I think he's bounced 2 shots already from this Tiger 2, but because of the amount of damage that he's done to the Tiger 2, wisely realizes that he's not really going to show his face anymore. If the Tiger 2 has half a brain on him, then he's probably driven back and tried to relocate to somewhere else, because he's not having any luck against the IS-3 of PL here. Does see that there's an STA-1 manoeuvring around. Just going to try and get a shot into him. Has a quick shot just as he backs away. Is able to get that damage, which was quite lucky actually. He was able to land that shot. Making a move straight up the right-hand side here. There's only a Rheinmetall defending, by the looks of it. Haven't really seen any other enemy tanks in and around the area, but rest assured there probably will be some people on the far right-hand flank. Allies have a tank destroyer moving up, and PL thinking about going for that Rheinmetall. Although he is just a one-shot, he does have a very, very dangerous cannon on him. GW Panther making a move here. Not really sure why he decided to come up to the centre. It's not like they'd lost the northern flank to the allies here, so a little bit confusing there. KV5 being a good guy, Greg, and taking the shot from the Rheinmetall there, which allowed PL just to move in there and take him out. The MX-CDC does now take out the KV5 though, so PL's running out of allies fairly quickly. They are losing this one at 8 kills to 10. Just because with the 10-minute time limit on the assault battles, the onus is really on the allies to push in and try and take the base. Rheinmetall's still moving up that far right-hand side, so PL does have some support in the form of that big cannon. He is still playing it very, very carefully. He's only taken a tiny bit of damage so far, so there's no point just giving away hit points to the enemy. But as you can see, he's starting to get flanked on from the right-hand side by the STA-1 and that Panther. And he's got the Nashorn and that Tiger 2 on the left-hand side. And he's got a difficult choice now to make, whether he's going to just sit still and allow the enemy tanks to close in on him, or whether he's going to make the choice, which he does make, which is to charge down one set of the enemy tanks here. Rather than go across the centre to the Panther and the STA-1, where the Tiger and the Nashorn could potentially cut him off, decides to move down the left-hand side here and charge down the Tiger 2 and the Nashorn, taking his time with the shot there just to make sure he can get it, but he knows that they are both one-shots. Got to be careful of the STA-1 coming in from the rear now. He goes to charge down the Nashorn, takes him out, and that's hopefully going to allow him enough time to spin around. Does take one hit through the side, but again, STA-1 is only a one-shot. And hopefully he won't be reloaded in time. He fluffed his shot. And PL comes in, takes him out for kill number 7. And that is it. That is the end of the game and the victory. So awesome game played there by PLJUVACH. Hopefully in the comment section below he can let us know what that username means, because at the moment I am pretty lost off. But he had an excellent game played there, making some excellent choices, especially at the end there, charging down the Tiger 2 and the Nashorn that were both one-shots, rather than getting flanked and closed in on by the enemy. So excellent replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that into replay@screenreality.com. The link for that's in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the What Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just thought it was fun, think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I've been Maxwell, it's been a World of Tanks replay, and I'll catch you guys next time.